approval of the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. This is actually just cleaning up some things. This was a resolution that was passed by the Board of Trustees of the pension plan, and working with our pension coordinator who's leaving us, we're cleaning up some things. This has to do with a resolution indicating that we would like some parameters around requiring a public member of the pension board to have some expertise in certain areas. The trustees did pass a resolution. Both the county administrator and myself thought it was a good idea. I ran it by our outside counsel, and he agreed that to codify this makes a lot of good sense as part of their selection process when they choose a member of the public. So before you, you have an amendment that I'd like to move on to the full board from this committee.
Discussion.
I would move the request as written to the full board.
We have a motion and support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up would be item 4C, GIS addressing ordinance, proposed changes. Okay, I'll talk first. As a representative of Napoleon and the Village of Brooklyn, I can't support this ordinance as presented. They have opted out earlier when the deadline was. The deadline 4 or 5 years ago gave them the opportunity to opt out and do their own. Last I knew, they both wanted to continue in that status. So my view is the Village of Brooklyn and Napoleon Township are grandfathered in by this previous opt-out. That's their stance also. So I cannot support this as written. Discussion?
I'm trying to get to the page right now, Phil. There is the section under, it's under the appeals somewhere here. Mike, what page is it? I'm looking for the part where it references the board.
Page 23.
Yeah, there it is. It's on page, well, it's 23 of the
Is this the,
appeal of the committee decision. I'm trying to see. Earlier, didn't it go back to the Board of Commission?
No.
No. I mean, when, the proposed one, did he take it back out of there?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. What this is.
Because last I saw it, it was still in there, so I see that it's not in there now, so I'm good.
Yeah, what way it's set up right now is if, one, if Scott were to just make a decision, it would go to the committee, and if the committee upheld what Scott had decided, it could then go to the appeals committee, which is totally different people, not the anyone on the committee. It has representation from other townships as well, so there's peer representation, if you will. And then from there, if it's still upheld, the only real option they have is to go to court.
Right.
There was some discussion about adding the county commissioners in there as another appeal, but at this time, we've removed that. We think it's best that the county commission remain the people who create this ordinance, not the people who arbitrate the ordinance.
So at this point, is this just going on the agenda for Tuesday, or do we actually need to make a motion, or no? Just make a motion to move it forward, or is it just gonna be there?
Well, this is going to go to Tuesday. This is a full board kind of decision on an ordinance.
Got it.
Exactly. But we wanted to make sure that, if there's, the more opportunity people have to be heard, obviously, the better. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Carl.
I know there's some commissioners besides you, Phil, that have some questions about this, so for me, we can give this an opportunity at the full board for further discussion, and obviously we'll take the vote there. So I would move this to the full board so that we can have a full board discussion.
Okay, we had a motion, support, some discussion on that. The Village of Brooklyn, there's already been a map presented to them by Scott Ames, and about 75% of the streets in the village and/or addresses will have to be changed, and the village is not wanting to put their people in the village through that. They opted out earlier, and that's where they want to be because of the drastic, they're going to have to rename 75% of the addresses or streets, and they've not had a safety problem, is their viewpoint. So they're pretty adamant about this. So please think of that when we vote on this. Okay, we have a motion support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same? Aye. Passes. We'll go to the full board. Okay, we go on to item 4D, Jackson County Animal Shelter Veterinarian Contract Extension. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Before you have a contract extension for Dr. Kathy Anderson. We've done this twice before. There are a couple changes to this extension. First is due to the change with the impending operations manager and the operations of the animal shelter coming under the auspices of the Administrator Controller's Office. Jackson County, references to Jackson County Health Department have been removed, and the Administrator Controller's Office has been added in. And also the rate of remuneration is remaining the same. However, the calculations for the yearly maximum has been changed slightly from an average of 12 hours per week to an average of 14 hours a week. So that is an increase, a potential increase from $34,000 to $40,000 a year. So those are the changes in the contract extension.
Very well explained. Discussion, board?
I would move the request as written.
We have a motion support. I look at this as a very valuable service we're getting, and we're lucky to have it. We have a motion support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Does this go into the full board, or has it been approved at this point? Full board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, item 4E, Facilities Department Reorganization. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. In front of you, you have a motion to approve the Facilities Department Reorganization Plan to include a redefined and upgraded Facilities Fleet Operations Supervisor position. As you know, we have been growing lately, and as we've been growing, we've been changing in the department. We've been looking at different ways of doing things, and you can see from the eliminated positions from the past, the fleet director, the facility services supervisor, the assistant facilities director, these were all tasks that were absorbed basically by me. And as we've been working through our reorganization, as opposed to requesting a new position from the business background I have, I think it's better to proceed just by upgrading an existing position instead of adding or requesting a new position. And with this requested position, it will be actually department-wide instead of just administrative-wide.
Thank you. Discussion? Carl?
Based on the amount of money that's involved here and the fact that it's in the budget, and I believe everyone here would agree that Mr. Shealy has taken on a lot more work, specifically himself as well as his department. I would move this.
Well, in 2 years and 4 months, we'll be coming back here. That's after our safety officer / master electrician retires. But this is it for, yes.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, commissioners.
We are at 4E, Finance. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're presenting the financial statements for the 3 months ended March of 18. So our budget benchmark is 25%. However, our actual year-to-date expenditures are below that, 23.1. That's also below the 3-year average, the historical average of 24.6, so that's the good news here. On the revenue side, our year-to-date revenue is 11.2%, which is below the 3-year average of 13.1. So again, this month we're including in the financial statements a summary of the pension bond investments and for the 3 months, and of course there's some market volatility there, so there's a reduction of $2.2 million from the initial investment. So I'm happy to answer any questions about this or any other detail included. Thank you.
Any question? Discussion? Apparently everybody's satisfied.
Thank you.
Nice job, thank you.
That's quick.
Okay, moving on, we are now at item 5, other business. Need a motion and support to pay the claims? Have motion and support. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the same. Thank you. Passes unanimously. We have no other minutes to review. June reporting schedule was not up yet. I'll return to item 6, public comment. Again, we have no public comment. Committee member comment? No committee member comment. Meeting adjourned.